Hello friends, welcome back to Huawei AS. Welcome to the discussion on Vision Social Issues PT365. This is part 7 of the lecture series and today we are going to discuss the sixth topic, that is miscellaneous. So in this we will cover all the miscellaneous ones and this is the last lecture. So from the next lecture we will start with another subject. Okay, now let's begin. So in the miscellaneous one, the first one what we have is the Human Development Report of 2020. The Human Development Report 2020, the title for this is The Next Frontier, Human Development and Anthropocene. So this is the title for this, and this is released by UNDP, and the first time it was released in 1990 itself. And if you see the Human Development Report, actually this office releases 5 indices: the Human Development Index, the Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index, Gender Development Index, Gender Inequality Index and Multidimensional Poverty Index. So the Human Development Index releases as part of the first HDR. It assesses primarily the 3 important dimensions, the 3 important parameters: the life expectancy, education and gross national income. So these 3 parameters are basically calculated, and the Human Development Index emphasizes that the people and their capabilities should be the criteria to assess the country's development and not the economy alone. So this Human Development Index, you can use it in your mains answer writing as well, and sometimes we are seeing even in the mains the questions are directly coming on Human Development Index, Multidimensional Poverty Index, etc. So it's very important for us to know what exactly is this Human Development Index and all. Okay, and the Human Development Index is used to question national policy choices. How two countries with the same gross national index per capita, they have different diverse human developments. Okay, so next, if you see this Human Development Report 2020 findings with respect to India, India has dropped 2 ranks. Currently, it is at 131 out of the 189 countries, and the first rank goes to Norway. So remember, Human Development Index, India's rank is 131, and this Human Development Index is released by UNDP. Human Development Report, yeah, it is released by UNDP, and if you see, according to this report, India's GNI, the gross national index per capita, fell to $6,681 in 2019 from $6,829 in 2018 on PPP basis, and the life expectancy also in 2019 is only 69.7 years. And indigenous children in Cambodia, India and Thailand, they have shown malnutrition issues like stunting and wasting, because stunting and wasting is one of the bigger problems when we talk about the children. Okay, in 2019 India is ranked 5th in terms of the solar capacity, and also if you see this index, it was adjusted to assess the planetary pressures by each nation's development. So that means how much development is leading to what pressure on the environment. So that is another major thing that was calculated. And the PHDI adjusted standard HDI by countries CO2. PHDI means the planetary HDI adjusted the standard HDI by countries CO2 emissions level and the material footprint on per capita basis. Because normally if you don't take this planetary pressure adjusted HDI, then the country's development will be shown in a positive way. But if you consider this development with respect to the environment, then the developed countries, they are polluting more, their per capita emissions are more. So then this will show that the development is not up to the mark. Okay, so that is about this. So here it is given the PHDI, the planetary HDI is created by multiplying HDI by an adjustment factor. And what are the adjustment factors? Like CO2 per capita emissions and material footprints, etc. Okay, so these are considered. Now let's move on to the next one. So the next one is the Human Capital Index. This Human Capital Index, remember, it is released by World Bank. So who released Human Capital Index? World Bank. And if you see this report, so the 2020 Human Capital Index update, it includes health and educational data for 174 countries. And so this, even the March 2020 data which was released, it can be tracked as a baseline to track the COVID-19 effect, because only after March 2020 the COVID lockdowns were induced across the globe. So this data can be used to compare pre-COVID and post-COVID details, you can say data. Okay, and the Human Capital Index, it is released by World Bank, and it's an international metric that benchmarks important components of human capital. It was launched in 2018. Okay, so the Human Capital Index has 3 main components: health, school and survival. Okay, so the health captures the rate of stunting under 5 years. Also the adult survival rates are being calculated, and the school measures the number of years of learning, adjusted years of school, which combines the quality of education and the number of years below 18 years. Number of years the child is attending school who is below 18 years. Okay, and also survival is birth to school age measured using under 5 mortality rates. So under 5 mortality rate is one of the major aspect. So human capital, if you see, human capital is nothing but human is being treated as a capital. That means the human skills, the health, knowledge, all of these things, they accumulate in the lives to realize the potential as productive members of the society. It is intangible and is inbuilt in the body of mind of the owner. So that's why it is considered as the capital of human. Okay, and the human capital formation sources, if you see, the education, the health, the skills, okay, that means the job training. So all of these things come under this human capital formation sources, right? Now what are the key findings? The key findings, if you see, the global human capital index. So globally, a child can expect to attain an average of 56% of potential productivity as a future worker. And the variation across regions and economies, if you see, child from low income country has HCA of 0.37 while it's 0.7 in high income countries. And the learning poverty, if you see, the share of 10-year-olds who cannot read and simply write a story, they're 53% in low and middle income countries. They suffer from this learning poverty. And also the disaggregation of HCI by gender, if you see, the human capital is higher among girls compared to that of boys in most countries. And the gender gap in employment rates is 20% on average in the world, but exceeds 40% in South Asia and Middle East and North Africa, right? And India specific findings, if you see, India is 116th among 174 countries, and India is among the 2 countries, other being Tonga, where the child survival rates are higher for girls than boys, because boys generally they are facing this issue of malnutrition, stunting, wasting, etc. And the human capital index score increased to 0.49 from 0.44 from 2018, and India experienced 30% decline in the stunting rates. So, and stunting rates for children under 5 years from 48% in 2010 to 35% in 2020. So the stunting rates have decreased. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. The next one is Global Multidimensional Poverty Index. So this Global Dimensional Multi-Poverty Index, if you see, in India, it is Niti Aayog who will be leveraging the monitoring mechanism. So Niti Aayog will be managing it in India, and the government decided to monitor the performance of the country in 29 select global indices through global indices to drive reforms and growth exercise. And Niti Aayog has set up a coordination committee also for this multidimensional poverty index. And the main aim of this global indices to drive reforms and growth exercise is to measure and monitor India's performance on various important social and economic parameters. Social parameters like health, education, etc., and economic parameters like growth, etc. Okay, and they use indices for self-improvement, bring policy reforms, improve implementation of schemes, etc. And if you see about Global Multidimensional Poverty Index, so international measure of multidimensional poverty covers 107 developing countries, and they are computed by scoring each surveyed household on 10 parameters in 3 equally weighted dimensions of health, education, and living standards. So health has child mortality and nutrition, education has years of schooling and school attendance, and living standards has cooking fuel, sanitation, drinking water, housing, electricity, and assets. So majorly we have 3 dimensions, and we have other indicators as well. Okay, so these are the ones, right? And this multidimensional poverty utilizes the National Family Health Survey. This National Family Health Survey is conducted by the Government of India, and according to the Global MPI 2020, India is 62nd and accounted for largest reduction in the multidimensional poverty between 2005-6 to 2015-16. So next one is the SDG Investor Map for India. SDG Investor Map for India. It is released by UNDP with Invest India. So this index is released by the UNDP. UNDP released this index, and it identifies investment opportunity areas and white spaces. That means the potential areas aiding India's journey to fulfill the SDG. So if you see the 6 priority areas in this, they are education, environment, the renewable energy, the financial services, agriculture and allied activities, healthcare. So these are the major priority sectors. And also if you see, there are 8 white spaces. They have that means white spaces are those industries where there is great potential, and this will help the private companies and the public sector companies to invest. And this map, if you see the SDG investor map, this highlights the SDG financing gap. And also with COVID-19 pandemic, the SDG financing gap has widened by 400 billion in developing countries, adding to the pre-COVID shortfall of 2 to 2.5 trillion per annum. And the financial gap for SDG, it is widened further, and the developmental progress under the MDG also on the verge of reversal. And if you see SDG financing, it's a means for channeling global financial flows to further the sustainable development. And Adidas Abba Action Agenda in 2015 provides a global framework for financing sustainable development that aligns financing flows and policies with economic, social and environment priorities. And India occupies key role for the success of SDG because India is a large country and India is a huge economy. So for the SDG to be successful, India has to ensure that the SDGs are successful in India, and India needs to increase spending of about 6.2% of GDP on the SDGs. Okay, and if you see SDG and India commitment, sorry, excuse me, SDG and India commitment, the SDG India Index. So Niti Aayog measured India and its states, and Manrega, which has been implemented, the employment guarantee scheme. This is to provide jobs to the unskilled labor, and this will fulfill the SDG 1 and SDG 8. And you have the National Food Security Act, which will fulfill the SDG 2, that means removal of hunger. So this is about India and SDG. Now let's move on to the next one, and this is the India's second voluntary national review. So Niti Aayog has presented this voluntary national review where it gives key findings with regard to various SDGs as well. Okay, so these are the SDGs, you can just go through them. Next important reports, if you see, there are various reports that are released by international organizations. For example, the Poverty and Shared Prosperity 2020 report, it is released by World Bank, and according to this report, the poverty is on rise because of COVID-19. And next one is the Sustainable Development Report by Sustainable Development Solution Network, and this tracks the performance of UN members on 17 SDGs, the measuring distance left to right on each target. And the key highlights, if you see, so if you see, the poverty has risen in the world, and SDG 9, the industry innovation infrastructure, and SDG 11, okay, so there is a progress. And the COVID-19 has effect on SDG 1, that is poverty, hunger, health, decent work. So all of these things the COVID-19 has an effect on. And the immediate relief due to COVID-19, the SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, SDG 13, the climate change, SDG 14, life below water, and SDG 15, life on land. So these are short-term ones. And SDG index, if you see, India ranked 117 below Pakistan and Afghanistan, and Sweden topped the SDG ranks. Okay, SDG report. In this report, Sweden topped. Okay, and India faces challenges in 10 of the 17 SDGs, and that includes SDG 2, 3, 5, etc. Okay, so these are the ones. SDG 2 means zero hunger. Okay, so like that. Now, if you see in next report, it is the World Employment and Social Outlook Report 2020, and this is released by International Labour Organization, and it examines income and social development and provide indicator of social unrest. It's a flagship publication of the ILO. Next one is the UN High Commissioner for Refugees and Global Trends Report. This is released actually, so this is basically for the refugees, for the rights of refugees, and it is created in 1950 after the Second World War. Next one is the NCRB annual report, the National Crime Report Bureau. Its annual report on suicide and accident rates. Sorry, excuse me. And if according to this report, the suicide and accidental death increased in 2019 with respect to 2018, and the suicide rate in cities, it is 13.9%, is higher compared to that of average of 10.4% in India. And the leading causes, if you see, the family problems, marriage related problems, and illness. Okay, these are the major problems. And next one is the State of World Population Report, and this is released by UN Population Fund Agency. And according to this, so this is basically talks about the world's population. It actually gives important information with regard to the sexual and reproductive health of the people as well. And this United Nations Population Fund, which is the United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency, it released this State of World Population 2020 report, and the title of this is Against My Will, defying the practice that harm women and girl and undermine equality. Next one is the Migration Report, and this is released by International Organization for Migration, and its headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland. Okay. Next, if you see some other important news, so this learning poverty is released by World Bank. So, and World Bank actually released the realizing the future of learning, from learning poverty to learning for everyone everywhere. So this is basically to reduce the poverty and understand the different aspects of poverty. Learning poverty is percentage of 10-year-olds who cannot read or understand the simple story. Okay, and this learning poverty, if you see, basically it majorly talks about the learning crisis, the education crisis that exists. Okay, and next one is Nidhi, the National Initiative for Development and Harnessing Innovation, which is the umbrella program by the Department of Science and Technology, and it has various components that is supporting different startups right from the time of their setup to the market. Okay, so this is about the Nidhi. The next one is the National Service Scheme, which is basically central sector scheme launched in 1969 to develop the personality and character of young students, and the volunteers work on various social issues which evolved in response to the needs of the community. Okay. Next one is the Kumar Sakshikaran program, the Kumbar the Kumbar Sashakti program. So this is by the KVIC for Potters Empowerment. So Kumbar Sashakti Pariyojana, basically it is for the potters, and it is by KVIC, the Khadi and Village Industry Commission, and it is basically for the empowerment of the potters in states like UP, MP, Maharashtra, Jammu and Kashmir, Haryana, Rajasthan, etc. And you have the Global Social Mobility Index, which is released by the World Economic Forum, and India ranks 76th out of the 82 countries. Okay, and if you see the social mobility, the movement in particular circumstances upwards or downwards of the individual in relation to their parents. In absolute terms, the ability of the child to have a better life than parents is what is being talked about by the Social Mobility Index, and this is released by World Economic Forum. Next one is the Academic Freedom Index. This Academic Freedom Index is basically to quantify freedom of university scholars to debate politically, culturally, with regard to the controversial topics. Okay, so this is actually a collaborative effort of Friedrich Alexander University and Wiedemann Institute, Scholars at Risk Network, and the Global Public Policy Institute. Next one is the Human Freedom Index. This is published by the Cato Institute and the Fraser Institute, and it presents the state of human freedom based on broad measure that encompasses personal, civil, and economic freedoms. Okay. So next one is the Global Smart City Index by the Institute for Management and Development, the Urban Quality of Life Index by IIT Bombay. Okay, so these are the important indices. And next one, you have the Meri Saheli Initiative. This is very important. This Meri Saheli Initiative, you see, this is launched by Indian Railways, basically to provide safety and security to the lady passengers, and some other women specific schemes. If you see, the Ujjwala scheme is basically to prevent trafficking, rescue and rehabilitation of women. Next one, the Swadhar Graha, is basically the shelter home for women, and Saki, which is a one-stop center to provide integrated support and assistance to women affected by violence. And next one, you have the Global Teacher Prize 2020, which is given to teacher in Maharashtra, Ranjit Sinha Disale. Okay, he got this Global Teacher Award 2020, and he won $1 million. And actually, this was given to him for recognizing his efforts to promote girl education and trigger a QR code for the textbook revolution, and it's an annual prize founded by the Vakri Foundation. Okay, and next one, you have the Nobel Peace Prize 2020, and this is given to the UN World Food Program. So this UN World Food Program is basically it's an effort to combat hunger, and the contribution for bettering the conditions for peace in conflict affected areas and preventing the use of hunger being weaponized in the war. And about the World Food Program, if you see, it was established in 1961 at Food and Agriculture Organization in 1960. It's the largest humanitarian organization addressing hunger and food security. It is headquartered in Rome, Italy. Okay, it's UN's primary instrument for SDG of hunger eradication, and the center gave approval to World Food Program for pilot of Annapurti program, automatic grain dispenser, which is the automatic grain dispenser. That means it is like an ATM for rice, and it is aimed at checking the malpractices in the distribution system. Okay, so that's it, guys, for this lecture. I'll see you again in the next lecture with one more subject. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.